I can log the one.
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to use Mr. Mikun as our test audience so that people can, so I can know if people can hear me. Can you all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So we're going to have about a minute or two to let more people join, and then we'll get started. So excited for this.
Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Hello.
Appreciate for joining. Mr. Victor is actually going to be here in a couple of minutes. Thank you so much for your patience. Trust you've had a wonderful day so far. Wonderful week. Okay, this session is wonderful experience, that I can assure you. So this period of time we're taking is actually worth it, trust me. We're going to get a balanced exhibition of Mr. Victor's lecture today, Building Generational Wealth Through Real Estate. See here, we have everybody joining in. That's great. Hi, Mr. Damon. Good evening. Good evening, Ade. Good evening, Adeze, Bumi, Blessing.
Good evening.
Hi, Collins. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Casey. I work with Mr. Victor, and yes, I'm here as a co-host because he's gonna be live. He's gonna be on mic in a couple of minutes. So yeah. How many of you is um hello? You guys hear me? You guys still hearing me? Great, great, great. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you, Collins. Yeah, so this webinar, how many of you have um like been part of it before? Let me just see a thumbs up. Like with Mr. Victor, have a webinar with him. Okay, I see your chat. Great. Oh, nice, Yemi. Thank
Hello,
you.
everyone. Hey, Casey, thank you for setting this up. Thank you for having everyone on here. Casey, you'll be my sounding board today, so I will be asking you questions, and that way I can help people to hear me. Can you hear me, Casey?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So we'll have about 25 people online now. This is amazing, and numbers counting. Casey is admitting everyone from the waiting room into the session. My goal is to have about a 20 minutes talk, about 25 minutes talk about building generational wealth through real estate, and then there's some room for questions, and we can go from there. All right, let's get started. It's 6:07. Let's get started. I'm going to share my screen here in a little bit. Okay, how do I share screen? There you go. All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so everyone can hear me? Excellent, Casey. So, Casey, are you getting everybody in from the waiting room as they're coming in?
Yeah.
Perfect. So, welcome everyone. So, today's session essentially is meant to help us all think through real estate in a different perspective. We're going to go over the pros, the cons, the risks, actionable steps, and how we can actually start building our wealth through real estate. All the goods and bads we're going to discuss today. Okay. The first thing is I want to go over what's called a financial hierarchy, right? Real estate is not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's capital intensive. So I'm going to go over a baseline of things we need to do when we're building generational wealth. So the first thing is I tell people all the time is have a stable income. Have a stable income and potentially a growing income. This is very important. I want everyone to write this down, please. Wealth is built through income, not through investments. So the real estate does not build your wealth. Real estate helps you keep your wealth, help you grow your wealth. It grows your wealth and keeps your wealth. It doesn't build your wealth. Your initial wealth is built through income, right? So if you look at all the big real estate developers, they're producing income. All the big investors are producing income first. Warren Buffett produces income first. So our first goal is to see where is our income level? Can we have a stable income and can we have a growing income? The next thing is having an emergency savings. 3 to 6 months of emergency savings is critical because real estate can be expensive. Problems do happen. It's a great investment vehicle, but problems do happen. So it's always good to have an investment savings and never go all in. I tell people like going all in is only in movies and the casino. You never go all in. You need to always have dry powder to take advantage of real estate opportunities and dry powder to take care of potential problems that come up in your investment journey. Okay. The next thing we want to do in our financial hierarchy is what I call risk insurance. Most people on here have enough wealth that the only thing that might take you down is a major catastrophe, a major insurance. Your home burns down, something bad happens to a relative, disability, those kind of things, right? So you need to have adequate insurance that can cover all those risks, right? So I have a good attorney that can help you with that. But things like life insurance, term life insurance, preferably, health insurance, home insurance, those things, those insurance that can help you insure against catastrophe is very important while you're building your financial house. Maintain a low debt level and a good credit score is very important in your financial plan and also in investing in real estate. Then building investing capital, right? So your emergency savings is not your investing capital. You have your emergency savings first and then start building investing capital. Later on today, we'll talk about how to access other capital. But the first, you also want to have your own investing capital as much as possible in your journey, and then deploy your capital for long-term investing. So, so building generational wealth,
Oh,
charity
so
begin.
sorry for cutting you, sir, but we can't see your screen. So sorry for cutting you.
Oh, you can see my screen.
No, sir.
Thank you for helping me with that. Casey, why come you didn't stop me? Okay, let's see. Thank you for that. Let me look for my screen again. How do I? Let me try it again. Sorry about that. Cancel share screen. And, sorry, guys. I'm trying to figure out. I'm related heavy, but not tech heavy. So you have to pardon me, guys. Can see the windows, the tab, entire screen. Let me see if I take my entire screen. Would that work? No. Window. Okay. Why is this not showing? Give me the option to share it. Okay. Come in. I'm sorry, guys. I couldn't share my screen. Was that muted? Okay. Hold on, guys. Let me just go on mute while they try to figure out technical difficulties. So sorry, guys. I'm normally better than this when it comes to Zoom. I think maybe because I'm using several screens and several computers. Can you guys see my screen yet, Alex?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Can see it now.
You see the building generational wealth screen?
Yes, we see the introduction now.
So what do
Yeah,
you see
we
next? The
see.
introduction?
Yes.
Perfect. Financial hierarchy?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So to talk about the financial hierarchy, we have stable income. That's the first thing we need to do, as we discussed in real estate. Income gets you rich, not invested. Investing grows your wealth, and investing um, keeps your wealth. We talk about having emergency funds, 3 to 6 months of emergency fund. You never want to go all in. But having a risk insurance, very, very key to have insurance across your whole sector. Most of us, the one thing that will bring us to our knees quickly is lack of adequate risk insurance, things like health insurance, long-term care disability, life insurance, home insurance, auto insurance. Those kind of things can derail your investment journey. So it's very critical, very, very critical. As a matter of fact, I believe risk insurance might even be above emergency fund savings. It's very critical to have all this insurance. And if you want to find out more, you can give us a call and we'll plug you in with a good insurance broker that can show you how to make sure you are well covered across the board. Maintain a good debt level, build your investing capital. Your investing capital is not the same as your emergency savings, and then deploy capital for long-term investments. Okay, charity begins at home. Strongly believe that the cornerstone of every wealth building is to have your own wealth first before you build your own generational wealth. And according to data, according to the largest study of multimillionaires, the first 1 to 3 million for most people is derived by owning their own personal home and a retirement account. So in some cases, we can actually get you into your own personal home with zero money down and just some money for your closing costs. And if you don't have a retirement account, you need to establish that. So before we kind of go further into the investing world, I want to ensure that everyone in here has your personal home. If you don't, you got to give us a call, like literally after this message. Have your personal home and also have a retirement account. There's Roth IRA, traditional IRA, 401k, SEP IRA, the new Trump accounts, on and on and on and on, right? So if you don't already have your personal home or your retirement account, this is where you start with your investment vehicle. Next thing. Now we'll talk about the benefits of investing in real estate. And by the way, we're going to talk about also the disadvantages, because there's some disadvantages of investing in real estate. But here are my favorite 7 benefits of investing in real estate. One is equity capture. Equity capture. This is very understated, but everyone needs to have this, and everyone needs to make sure they're tracking this whenever they're doing an investment purchase, which means that you should always buy an investment property undervalued. Always. Anytime you're dealing with a broker or realtor or whatnot, make sure you're asking, am I buying this property at the value or is it below the value? It's called equity capture, which means that, let's say you buy the property, they appraise it for $600,000 and you bought it for $480,000. You have an initial $120,000 equity right off the bat. And very soon you can tap into that equity to reinvest in a new property. Quite frankly, if you do it properly, you can keep tapping into equities of what that you just bought within 6 months or after 6 months to buy new properties. So your first rule, let's say your first rule of investing is make money going in. The first rule is to ensure that you're getting equity capture as you're investing. Okay, Casey, can you hear me, Casey?
Yes, sir.
And can you see my screen?
Yes, I do.
So let's keep bringing people in from the waiting room. So equity capture is one of the biggest benefits of real estate is equity capture. Secondly, is cash flow. I love this compared to other investment vehicles. As we've said before, we have 4 investment vehicles typically. You have investments in yourself, investment in real estate, investments in financial instruments, and investment in personal businesses. The cash flow of real estate is amazing. Unlike in financial instruments, real estate spits out cash flow for you every month that you can actually spend. You can go buy things with. You can buy food with it. You can buy other investment with it. You can travel with it. Unlike other vehicles where in most cases you have to sell the asset itself to get your money out, sell the underlying assets. With real estate, you keep the property and every month is giving you cash flow. Of course, we also know about appreciation. Real estate appreciates on average 3.3% annually nationally. Some places are faster, sometimes are faster, but on average, over a long period of time, about 3.3% nationally. And as you know, real estate typically almost always goes up over a long period of time. Equity pay down. If you have a mortgage on your home, your tenants are paying that mortgage, and the mortgage is reducing the principal debt you have, reducing the debt you have on the loan. And as they're paying that down, you're building more wealth. Okay, now illiquidity. I love this part of it because most people don't tell you about this. Real estate is not very liquid. You just can't sell it just like that. That's a bad thing in some cases. It's also a good thing in some cases. Why is it a good thing? Right? Because most investments do well over a long period of time. However, the liquid nature of most investments make them a bad investment because money gets bored. So you buy the stock of Tesla today, stock of Apple tomorrow, and once you get bored, once you see a different opportunity, you sell it. You sell it. And you never get to hold it long enough to reap the benefits of long-term, right? Most people do not hold their stocks for more than a year. Most people short term. But for investment to really mature, you need a long time horizon, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, right? That's why when it comes to stock investing, I advocate for index funds because it's easy to hold out for a long time. And so also is the illiquidity nature of real estate. Make sure it helps you hold property for a long time as well. You're not selling it in and out. Okay. Then leverage. Leverage is powerful. Leverage and tax benefit are probably the biggest benefits of real estate. So I'm going to talk about that in the next slide here. So 3 things. The 3 biggest, in my opinion, benefits of real estate are taxes, leverage, and compound interest. Most of us don't really take the time to think about the impact of taxes on our wealth building. Do you know that taxes is by far your biggest expense ever, right? Most of us have 20%, 30%, 35%, 40% income taxes. Income taxes. So if you're working and you're losing 40% or 30% of your money right off the bat, it's be very hard to build wealth, right? And having real estate through 1031 exchange, capital gains waiver, earned income waiver, cost segregation, you can eliminate your taxes. Quite frankly, if you structure it well, you can actually eliminate your earned income taxes. So let's say you work for ExxonMobil and you're making 200K or whatever the case is, and you're paying 60K in taxes on that. If you have real estate investment, you can actually get the entire 60K back if you structure it properly. So taxes, so real estate helps you eliminate your biggest expense, which is taxes. Then leverage. Another power of real estate is, let's just say, Mr. Collins has 100 grand and Victor has 100 grand. And Mr. Collins invests 100 grand in the stock market and makes 10% this year. Victor takes 100 grand and buy a property of 500 grand. And I make 10% of that 500 grand. Victor has made 50 grand. Mr. Collins have made only 10 grand because he made 10% of 100 grand. Let's just say, fine, I can't even make 10%. I only make 5%, half of that, while he made 10% in the stock market. I mean, 5% appreciation, 5% of that is still 25 grand, because my 100 grand is controlling a bigger amount, right? And real estate is the only business in the world that we call it collateralizing, where you can go to the bank, say, I want to open this business, I want to buy real estate, give me 80%, give me 90% of the purchase price, give me 100% of the purchase price, and they will give it to you. Other businesses will not do that. So the leverage in real estate actually helps you control a bigger asset, which is very big when it comes to you building wealth. And lastly, compound interest, right? We talk about the illiquidity of real estate. The fact that we can hold it for 5, 6, 7, 8 years is a big benefit to your investment vehicle. Now, we're going to talk about how to finance real estate, because one of the disadvantages of real estate, that real estate is actually very capital intensive. So I've highlighted the different ways you can finance real estate. One is your personal capital. From your income, you save the money and you deploy your own personal capital with leverage, of course, in acquiring real estate. Number two is traditional lender financing. So companies like my company, Gazette Mortgage, we can help you get traditional loans, FHA loan, conventional loans, and so on and so forth. This asset talks about the four things you need to think about when you want to buy real estate. One, your assets, your down payment and closing costs, 0% in some cases, 5% in some cases. C, your credit score. I, your income, or the income of the rental property. Again, another big benefit of real estate. Sometimes you have no income and we don't care. As long as you have your down payment, your assets, the A part of it, and the property itself is producing income, we'll use the income of the property to qualify you to buy that property. Very powerful. You don't get that in other investments. And D is your debt to income ratio. You want to keep your debt low. Next thing is called private investors, right? So you can actually go to other people and say, hey, Ms. Blessing, I want to buy a property. Can you invest along with me? Equity partners. And that's what comes with what's called energy versus money, right? So if you don't have the money to invest, but you have the energy, you have the knowledge, you've been to this webinar, you know how to find good properties, you can find undervalued properties. You can partner with people that have money but have no time to look for the deals. Say, hey, let's come together. I'll look for a good deal. I'll take 5%. You finance it. You take 95%, and we get this deal done. So having private investors is a good way to finance real estate. Seller financing is underused but powerful. People are always afraid to ask the seller, if I buy this property, would you finance it for me? And me and my clients have used this so many times. And I've also actually sold properties and did it and carried a note for the buyer. It's great because you can get a lower interest rate. You can structure it easier. You don't have to worry about banks. And if you want to find out more about seller finance, let us know. We'll also teach you more about seller financing. Hard money or private lending. Not a big fan of it, but you can use that. Syndications, very powerful. We can help you structure syndication if you want to. Essentially, this is where 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people want to get together and buy property. So let's just say on this group, we have about Casey. How many people do you have on the chat line right now? On the Zoom line?
38.
38 people. Okay, good, great. So let's say we have about 10 people that want to get together. I say, Victor, 10 of us want to get together and want to do a deal together. When we see a big apartment complex, we have 100K each, want to raise $1 million and want to buy it. How do we put that together? We can help you with that legally and seamlessly with the right rules, right general partner, right limited partner. It works very, very, very seamless. You can actually hire an operator to run it, where you don't have to worry about running it. The operator runs it and just kind of gives you guys dividends. If you want to learn more about syndications or do your own syndication, let us know. We can help you set that up. By the way, I want to urge everyone to please put your first and last name, phone number, and email in the chat box so we can follow up with you and thank you. And also get you this, also send these slides to you once we're done. You can also use your retirement account to invest. Your IRA, what we call a self-directed IRA, you use your retirement account to invest and keep all the property in your IRA. Once it's in your IRA, those properties are also subject to the IRA tax benefits. So you get all the tax benefits of your IRA, and also get all the advantages of all the benefits of the property into that. So if you also want to learn more about that in the future, let us know. We'll get that done for you. You also invest with real estate funds or crowdfunding, right? So if you have, there's several people that do crowdfunding, raise a bunch of money, and go take down big deals. Now, some of those are reserved for what we call accredited investors or sophisticated investors. We can also help you with that process. Okay. Hope you guys are writing questions. And if you have questions that you don't know, you can also put in the chat box. We're going to talk about it afterwards. So types of real estate to invest in. We have residential real estate. So with that one, there's short-term and long-term tenancy. Now, residential real estate has a lot of hassle factor. But the fact is, if you have multiple of that, I always tell people, hey, you want to buy one property a year for 15 years. And that will set you up for a great retirement, because now you're going to have 15-year properties. Majority of them are already paid off by your tenants. And you have millions that you can pass to your kids. But residential real estate is very stable. Usually in demand, easy to sell, easy to buy, easy to rent, and those things. Now, once you graduate from that, you can go to multifamily real estate. Also generally in demand. It's easier to rent, not as easy to sell, but it can appreciate faster if you're a good operator. Then we have commercial real estate. That's my personal favorite. Shopping complexes, office buildings, warehouses, and those kind of things. And we have industrial real estate, more like warehouses, data centers, self-storage, and those kind of things. We have land. I like land, but land does not give you cash flow for the most part. So you need very, very high appreciation with land. The good thing with land is that the hassle factor is less. You don't have to worry about tenants. You don't have to worry about fixing things. You just buy it, you maintain it, and you keep it for the long term. If you buy it in the right place, which can help you with, it appreciates. On average, we try to target a 20% annual appreciation for land. So we have mixed-use real estate. We have a real estate development. This is getting very popular these days. There's a lot of money in there, and there's a lot of, you can also scale that faster. With the same knowledge, you can build one property, you can build 10, you can build 200 properties. We have a different webinar we do that kind of shows you how to develop your own real estate. But a great way to invest in real estate is real estate development, or investing with someone that is doing a real estate development. We also have a REITs, real estate investment trusts. This essentially are stocks, right? You go on the stock market and buy it. The mandate of REITs says that they have to give out 90% of all their money in dividends. So generally, if you want buy a stock that has high dividend, you're getting money monthly, getting money quarterly, you're getting dividends. REIT is a good way to go. Okay, so now here is the generational wealth formula for real estate. Okay, we want to buy real estate with the idea of long-term ownership. This is why I like the illiquid nature of real estate. You tend to buy and hold it for long term, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, unlike other investment vehicles where you get tempted to sell it very early. Real estate, you want to buy income producing real estate. Again, another benefit of real estate over other investment vehicles is that every month it gives you money that you can spend. I can tell you for a fact, every month I get money in called rent that I spend every month on my lifestyle, right? So that even if I don't have to go to work, I'm getting money coming to me. And most of the real estate I've had them for a long time. That way the debt has gone down and I'm getting pure cash, pure passive cash coming from them. You want to have a conservative leverage, not over leverage. And then as you go along, you want to be able to tap into the equity or tap into more income to reinvest in buying more real estate. Time on the market, and I always advocate buy at least one property a year for 15 years. It'd be good to go. You're good, your kids are good, your grandkids might be good as well. Financing ways. So there's different ways to finance real estate. We talk about assets already, your own money, your credits, your income, your personal cash from your business. We have what we call the DSCR loan, where we use the income of the property to help you finance the property. We have your net worth depreciation, right? So which means that you don't want to use your income, but you have your net worth. Hey, Victor, this is my net worth. I have money in the stock market. Can I borrow against it, or can I use it to backstop my borrowing? We have this kind of loan. It's called asset depletion loan, where we use your net worth as a way to qualify you for a loan. Now, disadvantages of real estate. There are some which we need to know about. One, they're capital intensive, right? On the second slide, I said about how you can open a Roth IRA with $1. You can use $1 to buy stocks. Generally, with real estate, especially with investment real estate, you need to put down 20%, maybe 25% down payment. This is capital intensive, as we talk about, doing a syndication or merging with someone to do it together. Real estate is illiquid, right? You just can't get out of it like that. So if you need money tomorrow or you need money next week, it's hard to get out of real estate, right? So you have to rely a lot on the cash flow, and then it might take a while to sell it, especially for commercial real estate. It might take even longer to sell those. Tenants and management risk, right? It's hard dealing with tenants. Tenants don't always pay your rent. It's hard managing real estate compared to managing other investment vehicles. Vacancy, you might have some vacancy. The beauty about it is in residential real estate and apartments, the vacancy is not as bad as commercial, but anything can happen in the economy. You can have also vacancy. Market risk, interest rate risk, those kind of things, leverage risk if you overborrow, and finally, just the hassle factor of messing with real estate. Okay. How to acquire real estate? You have two ways. Direct way, right, where you do an individual ownership. You buy the property, you own it in your own name only, or you own it in your own LLC name only. Or you can do partnership, where you can partner with people to let's buy it together, 2-3 people, joint venture, or several ways to own it. And then we have indirect ways to acquire real estate. With syndication, come with 10 people, 20 people, let's get together, let's syndicate a deal. Again, this is very powerful. So if you want to talk more about this, please feel free to put a comment in the chat box, and I'll be able to kind of help you do this. We have private equity companies. So there's several private equity companies out there that you can invest with. I invest a lot of money with some private equity companies. If you want to know more, want to share some with you, I'm happy to share some with you, where they will send you deals that, hey, Mr. Ajewale, we have this deal, we want to buy this property, we're raising money, we need 20 grand, can you give us 20 grand? And they will give you your dividends regularly, or I'll give you reports based on how well the deal is going. There's an LPGP method, okay? Here are actionable steps you can take as we go along to start preparing yourself to building generational wealth through real estate. One, review your financial readiness. Again, I have financial planners and advisors in our orbit that can help you review this. If you want to, just let us know. We'll get you in touch with one of them. Create a savings plan for ownership. So now start raising capital to invest in this. Because other than your personal home, most other investments require some sort of down payment to do. So based on all this strategy we talked about earlier, decide on which strategy you want to use to own your property. Build your real estate team. So like my company, we have a mortgage company, insurance company, and real estate company. Hopefully we can help you with this deal. Then buy your first property. Hopefully it's your personal home. Consult with mentors regularly like us, and it just repeats. All right. So I'm going to pause this and open it for questions. Before then, I always like to give out a gift to my audience. So I have 5 gifts in here. My best-selling book, Will You Ever Be Rich? And other books as well. I'm going to give to the first 3 people that can do something for me. So I have a phone number. I'm going to give out a phone number here. The first 3 people that text their first and last name and email address. First and last name and email address. Get a copy of the book. We're going to mail it to you, or have it, or you can pick it up at our office. So the number is 832-788-1782. 832-788-1782. Text your first and last name and email address, and the first 3 people gets no text. No, don't send. Okay. Jael Amo, you're sending to the wrong number. 832-788-1782. So now you're cheating. You're sending it to a different number. 832-788-1782. We've got a few people coming that's texting their number. Okay, the first winner is Rose Adebowale. Second winner is Yewande Akinkwor. And then the third winner, I see some numbers are still coming in. So I'll announce the third one after I answer a few questions here. So room is open for questions. Please post your questions in the chat line or unmute yourself, or I'm going to have Casey call into different people. So the first one I have is Kay. Kay, go with your question.
Hey, Victor, thank you very much for the very insightful presentation. I'm not sure if this is a question. I was wondering if you could speak a little bit more about you said something about retirement accounts and buying real estate retirement accounts. Could you throw a bit more light on that? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. It's a very powerful method to use your retirement money to invest in real estate. So a lot of people like that because when this is done properly, there's so many benefits. Like we talk about the 7 ways, buying equity capture, the leverage part of it, the appreciation, the pay down, the cash flow. So in your Roth IRA or your regular IRA, you can get with your IRA provider, say, hey, I want to convert that to what they call a self-directed IRA. The money sits in the IRA and you use that money to buy property. The property is owned by the IRA and everything stays in the IRA, and you can grow your money faster. If you know what you can buy an apartment complex, shopping center, regular house. If you know what you're doing, you can put all that into your IRA without using outside money. Does that answer your question, Kay?
It does. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So sorry, Mr. Victor, but your camera is off again. So.
Oh, it's off? Okay, sorry about that. Let's get that fixed. How about turn that on? Perfect. Thank you.
We got more questions on the chat.
Oh, so someone said that you can hear, but it's an echo. There's a question in the chat. Okay, so there's a question in the chat. So I have one here. Can you be asked to cover mortgage payment? Angelo, I'm not good at reading out loud, please. Can you ask a question, please?
Sure. So on the LPGP method, let's say you have the rent is not covering the mortgage due to low occupancy in the property. So can upfront you you invest a certain amount of money and you're expecting your dividend, but in case of where the mortgage is not covered, do you get in a position where you now have to pay to cover the rent?
Very good question. So there's a lot of scenario that can happen with that. But generally, what happens is it's a general partner, limited partner. So if you're a limited partner, you tend not to be responsible for those things like rents or payment. Once you invest, your role is limited, it's done. Now, the general partner, if you're the general partner, oftentimes you also have to sign a personal guarantee as a general partner. So if for any reason the rental income cannot cover the mortgage, the general partner can be held liable for paying the rents. Now, the general partner might now come to everybody and say, hey, limited partner, we need more money. I need to raise more money. Can you give me more money? Or they can go to other sources to go raise more money, to other banks, other lenders. Maybe decide to sell the property if you have a lot of equity in the property. But the general partner will be the one to be responsible for anything like that if they need more capital, to pay the rent. Does that answer your question, Angelo?
Yeah. So the general partner is like the one making the major decisions and everything.
Correct. So the general partner makes it. Now it depends on the operating agreements of the company, but the general partner is the one making the decisions, and typically whoever has a personal guarantee on that deal, the deal has a personal guarantee. So which means that if the loan goes south, that person is one liable. The limited partners are limited. They put money, they get benefits, and that's about it, right? The general partner is the one making most of the decisions, or you might have a general partner, limited partner, and an operator. The general partner say, hey, I'm the one responsible for the money, but the operator is the one running things and making the decisions, right? So you have the general partner, limited partner, and an operator. But overall, general partner is more responsible for things that go wrong and things that go right.
Gotcha.
Okay, I have a Mr. B. Mr. B has a hands up.
Thank you, Victor. My question is, can someone use a private lending for an investment property?
Yes, you can use private lending for any property. We have private lending for your personal home. We've done that for people before. People that can't get any other loan, we have private lenders that have individuals that have home that will loan you money and do the loan for you. So you can use private lending for any property whatsoever. Hope, you have a question. Hope Adibe.
Yes, hi.
Hey.
I said, what do you think about becoming a developer? Do you think that it builds wealth in the long run? Because
Absolutely.
I know you said to hold, to buy the property and hold on to it for long term, but developers just build and sell the property and move on, so.
Absolutely. So that's a great question. So that's the difference between investing and working, right? So building property being a developer is a great way to build wealth, but that's more of an earned income. That's more of inventory. You're building and you're selling. You're building and you're selling, right? So building property is a great way to raise capital, raise your income up, and then you want to invest that money long-term somewhere else. So by nature, investment is more passive and it's long-term. Building property, you can build your own property to keep in your investment portfolio. So instead of going out to buy a property for 300K, you can build the same property for 180K or 200K and then rent it out as your investment portfolio. But development is a great way to generate income, but it's not a pure investment. It's more of an action, more of an earned income. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Bobodo, you have a question? Have your hands up.
Yes, Victor, thank you so much for having us here. So my question is, should you buy your first home as an investment property instead of a primary residence? And if so, what qualities make a property a good rental investment?
Great question. So I do not believe it's a good idea to buy your first home as an investment property. I think your first home should be your primary home. Especially the only time I would think the opposite is if you can live for free or live really, really cheaply elsewhere by renting, right? So let's say I was 21 years old and I'm living with my parents, then my first home would be my investment property. If I'm renting somewhere, I don't want to start doing investment property. So charity begins at home. And the bedrock of wealth building is your own primary home and your own retirement account. So I've said in the very first slides that according to several data, your first $1 million to $2 million is from your personal home for most people and your retirement account, right? So the only time I advocate buying an investment property before your own personal home is if your cost of living is absolutely free or very cheap, right? So for example, before I got married, I paid maybe like $300 for rent, living in the ghetto, and there were like 6 of us in the same house. I was house hacking. So at that point in time, I was buying investment properties instead of my own personal home. And fast forward quickly, I bought my own personal home next, and I was house hacking. I had people that were living with me and paying me rent. So, and the wisdom behind that is that things can go wrong sometimes. Tenants might not pay you sometimes. What you don't want to do is have a home you're paying rent in and also a home you're paying to live in, and you're stuck between it. So buying your own personal home first, get stabilized, is the better approach than going to investment first.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Adeshawanaku, what's your question?
Thank you, Victor, for sharing your knowledge on all of this. My question has to do with clients who are looking to buy investment properties in this market, but because interest rates are pretty high, I know that you all have some products at Gazette that could potentially help with that. But generally speaking, the costs of taxes and insurance and their P&I, the rents have not gone up enough to where, they actually have cash flow coming from those properties. So how do you address that?
It's a great question. So there's two ways, right? So one, you want to be very patient. Quite frankly, when rates are high, is when you see more undervalued properties because homes don't
Mhm.
sell that well. Sellers get desperate and they just start giving the property away. So right now we're seeing a lot of foreclosures, a lot of people giving their homes away because they just can't afford the owners can't afford to pay. They're losing their jobs. They can't afford to pay it, and it's not selling fast enough. So it's actually a great time
Mm,
to be a buyer right now if you're buying deals. On the
okay.
flip side, like you said, rates are high. It's not a great time to, it's not a great time to be a borrower, right? Borrowing
Hmm.
cost is very high, and that can eat into your returns. So the
Right.
question is, how can you help your clients or help yourself buy undervalued properties, which it's there right now, and minimize the cost of borrowing on your investments. So loan companies like us, Gazette Mortgage, can kind of help you with that by doing things like adjustable rate mortgage. If you do that, rates are like in the fours, like they were back
Mm,
in those days. And you can use that for 7 years to lock in great rates before you sell the property or you
mm,
refinance. Or when they've paid the mortgage down, you can refinance at that point in time.
okay.
Right? You can adjustable rate mortgage, 15-year mortgage. You can put more money down, do more
Mm-hmm.
syndication, and the more money you put down, the less you borrow. The less you borrow,
Right.
the less interest you pay, right? But there are a lot of places to find undervalued deals, right? A lot of places to buy undervalued deals right now. You just got to be patient and look closely. And for investment, you
Okay.
should be patient. You shouldn't just be buying anything you see. You should be very patient
Right.
while you're looking for your investments. Does that answer your question,
Mm.
Ade?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Right. So let's see. Hope has a question about FHA. Hope, can you ask a question?
No, that's not me.
So yes. Oh, yes, you use an FHA loan carrier. You were answering someone's question. Sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions? If you have a question, please unmute yourself, and I'm happy to answer your question for you.
Good evening, sir. My question is a bit more practical. So I've been driving around Houston, just looking at properties and finding some that I like, and that looked like a good deal. Like you said, energy versus money. I know I don't have the capital right
You don't
now
have
to be able
money,
to.
or you have money?
Yeah. So the part that is still making me, um, that I'm getting stuck at is finding the information. So I have the picture of this property, I have the address of this property, is to finding the information of that person and then reach out to them. I know there are some tools, but then it's still a bit of a hassle to find these people's information and then reach out to them to, just inquire about the properties. So yeah, that's my question.
Yeah. So we have tools to help you with it. Fair royalty. Just shoot me a text or text the number, the 832-559-0880. I'll be happy to have someone reach out to you, help you directly with no obligations. It's very important for us that you kind of get good deals that are out there. So if you need any kind of guidance on that, reach out to us anytime. We'll help you with it.
Thank you, sir. I shall come.
Please do.
I'm on my way.
Please do, please do. And if anyone also has any needs whatsoever, real estate, mortgage, insurance, you have that one number, just hit it up, 832-559-0880. Be able to help you out. Any other questions? Anybody else? We got about 5 more minutes.
I got a
Angelo, any
question.
questions? Sorry, go ahead.
Is there any minimum percentage requirement for an investment loan as a down payment?
Yes, yes. Generally, the least you will have you need for investment property is 15%. Now I say generally because that's the rule, but they're always exception to the rules, right? Uh, Personally, when you're doing investment property, I don't believe in using too much leverage. You want to be conservative with your leverage. So the more money you can put down, the better. The better rates you can get, the better deals you can get. But yes, there is the minimum generally is about 15%, and it goes higher from there depending on the kind of deals you're doing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions?
Mr. Victor, we got a message from someone streaming through LinkedIn, and he wants to know about the BRR strategy. You should give him.
Got it. Yeah, I intentionally did not add that in my talk earlier. They call the Burr method, BR. It's 4 hours, BRRRR method. Very powerful as well, but it requires some work, which is not investment. Right? So some work. So it's basically called buy. You buy a property that's undervalued and in some cases need minor to major work, minor to major repair. You buy undervalued. You typically with hard money lender or private lender, right? Because most traditional lenders will not borrow you money, will not loan you money to buy such property. So buy that, then you rehab it. You get it fixed up, so you add value to. So you say you bought at 100K or 150K, you put under 50K into it to rehab it, and now you're at 200K. So buy, rehab. But now that you've rehabbed it, maybe you added a room to it, added a bathroom, you improved on that. Now you've done that, you can now rent it out, right? You rent it out and then you refinance it, take all the equity out of it, and then you do that again, repeats, right? Buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. Now, I want to say this. I hope everybody's listening. I actually have several properties that we've put together that will qualify for a BRRR method, right? Where we've identified that they're undervalued. You can buy undervalued. We have GCs that can help you add a bedroom, add some square footage to it, fix it up to increase the value. You can get it rented, get it refinanced, and then do it all over again. And after a while, the money in the property itself will what you're using to buy more deals, and you have less need to actually use your own money for those deals. So BRRR method. If you're interested in getting properties that qualify for this, let us know. We'll get it over to you with no obligation. Great question. Okay, any other questions? You get about 2 more minutes. Anyone saving the last question? The one is in your mind that you don't want to ask it now or forever hold your peace.
Well, go. I have one more question.
All right, Kay, take it away.
Yeah. So the strategy where you talked about buying a house a year, 15 years, about what would be your recommendation on the value of the house to target?
Okay, a price for it. Great, very, very good question. So it just depends on a lot of factors. But for a quick, easy answer, I was something under 350. So maybe between 200 and 350K with our target. And the reason for that is typically those properties that are pricey enough where they're not junk, but they are not too pricey where you're not getting your cash flow, because you want the cash flow to pay the mortgage. And I want you to put it on a 15-year mortgage. You want the cash flow to pay the mortgage on a 15-year mortgage, right? So typically I would say you want to, in the Houston area, I'll say you want to be between 200 and 350K. But I'll say don't do this on your own. Reach out to one of our realtors, give me a call. Let's help you dig into it. But the idea is you buy one property every year, you put on a 15-year mortgage using a loan. So that by year 16, that property is now worth almost double what you bought it for. And it's probably either paid off now because of the 15-year mortgage. You can now take out all that equity and live with it. And if you take out the equity in the form of refinance, it's tax-free money because it's a loan, right? You guys have always heard that the uber wealthy, they make money, invest, borrow, die. They always borrow money against their investments to spend. They don't spend it, borrow money against their investments, and they use the cash flow of the investment to pay back their loan back. Because when you borrow money against your investments, it's considered a debt, and debt is tax-free. So you borrow money and spend it to travel, to do whatever the case is, considered debt, right? So you borrow against that asset, and you use that borrowed money to live, and the rent is paying back the loan you took to live, and you don't pay taxes on the money you're spending. I hope I've been helpful to someone. Again, our winners of the book are the following people. We have Rose Adebowale, Jayola Amo, and Yewande Akinkwwo. We'll get his books over to you. Thank you all. I want to wish you all a good evening. And we'll be doing another event on February 24th. It's every 2 weeks. If you want to give me suggestions of a topic, please send it to me directly, and we'll use that. Maybe about developing real estate or whatnot. Let me know, and we'll do this for you. Thank you all.